Welcome to episode 2 of our series, From Lagos to Birmingham, A Family's Migration Journey. In this episode, Angela arrives in the UK and faces new challenges as she begins her new life. Will she adjust quickly enough to reunite with her family? Let's find out. Angela stepped off the plane into the cold, unfamiliar air of London Heathrow Airport. The contrast between the chilly UK weather and the humid Lagos heat was striking. As she walked through the long corridors of the airport, her heart pounded with a mix of excitement and nervousness. This was it, the beginning of a new chapter. She joined the queue at immigration, gripping her documents tightly. When it was her turn, the officer barely looked up. Purpose of travel? I'm here to work, she replied, handing over her passport and certificate of sponsorship letter. The officer scanned through the documents, then stamped her passport. Welcome to the UK. Angela let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. She had made it. After collecting her bags, she checked her phone. A representative from the care home had sent a message. Welcome, Angela. We'll be waiting for you outside Terminal 3. Look for a blue van. Stepping outside, the cold wind hit her face. She pulled her coat tightly around her as she spotted the van and approached cautiously. Angela Johnson, a woman called out. Yes, that's me. Welcome to the UK. Let's get you to Birmingham. Angela climbed into the van, her hands trembling slightly. As they drove through the streets of London, she marveled at the tall buildings, organized roads, and bright streetlights. This was a whole different world. The drive to Birmingham took nearly 2 hours. Angela barely spoke, too exhausted from the long flight and overwhelmed by her new reality. Her thoughts drifted to David and the children. Would they be okay without her? She glanced at her phone and saw a message from David. We miss you already. Call us when you arrive. Tears stung her eyes, but she blinked them back. She had to be strong. When they finally reached Birmingham, the driver pulled up in front of a modest house. This is your accommodation. It's a shared house for new healthcare workers. You'll meet the others inside. Angela stepped out, staring at the small brick house. This was home for now. Inside, the house was simple but clean. Her room was small, with a single bed, a tiny wardrobe, and a desk. As she unpacked, exhaustion set in, but so did the loneliness. Back home in Lagos, she would have been surrounded by family, the laughter of her children filling the air. Hey, there was only silence. She picked up a phone and dialed David. The moment she heard his voice, her chest tightened. How is it over there? He asked. Different, she admitted. Cold, quiet, lonely. The kids keep asking when they'll see you. She swallowed hard. Soon. I'll work hard to bring you all here. After the call, she curled up in bed, staring at the ceiling. This was just the beginning. Angela's first shift at the care home started early. She reported at 7 a.m., dressed in her new uniform, heart racing. Mrs. Patel, her supervisor, handed her a clipboard. You'll be assisting with patient care, bathing, feeding, medication reminders. It's hard work, but you'll adjust. Angela nodded. She had experience in caregiving, but everything here was different. The procedures, the technology, even the way they spoke. The elderly residents had strong British accents, and she struggled to understand them at times. Some were kind, others impatient. By the end of the shift, her feet ached, and she felt completely drained. That night, she called David. It's tougher than I thought. You'll get used to it, he reassured her. Just focus on why you're there. She sighed. I just miss you all so much. We miss you too, he said. But soon, we'll be together. Over the next few weeks, Angela fell into a routine. Wake, eat, sleep, repeat. But the loneliness didn't go away. One evening, she scrolled through her phone, looking at pictures of Grace and Michael. Grace had lost her first tooth. Michael had received an award at school. She was missing everything. She sent David a message. I don't know if I can do this. His reply was immediate. You already are. The next day at work, Mrs. Patel pulled her aside. Angela, you've been doing well. I know adjusting is tough, but we need dedicated workers like you. Keep going. It was the first real encouragement she had received since arriving. That night, she checked her bank balance and smiled. She had saved enough to start the visa process for David and the kids. She dialed David. "Stop preparing. You will be joining me soon." His relieved laughter filled the phone. "We can't wait." For the first time in weeks, Angela felt hope. They were one step closer to being together again. Will Angela be able to bring her family over sooner than expected? Can she overcome the emotional and physical toll of starting over in a foreign land? Stay tuned for the next episode. White right pointing backhand index if you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts. Bell subscribe to Fortrex Tales and follow the journey. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thank you.